Hey, it's nutritionist and healthy weight loss expert Trisha Mandis here, and I'm really excited because today I'm going to show you how to make a powdered plant-based macaroni and cheese mix. Yay! It's awesome, it's really easy, and it brings me back to the days of being a kid and loving the Kraft macaroni and cheese in the blue boxes and not really getting to eat them that much, which stunk, but now I can eat as much as I want of it because it's a much healthier version of that. So last night I was on the TV show called Making It Grow. It's on ETV, public television in in the state of South Carolina. And I made this recipe there, but I wanted to expand further on it for those of you who didn't see it or did watch it and want to make it yourself at home. So these are the ingredients that you need to make the powdered cheese mix. And by powdered cheese mix, it's really, I just keep it in a container like this, and we cover it at home. But it's really just this, it looks just like the powdered stuff that you'd get in the box. So we're gonna make this right now. That way you have a stash of it whenever you want to have a cheese sauce within 2 minutes. So what goes in it is 3/4 cup of nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is deactivated yeast. Looks like that. It has a cheesy flavor to it. It's a bunch of vitamins, basically. Sometimes it's fortified with B12, which is good too. Lots of B vitamins in there. It's good on popcorn and on pizza as a cheese replacer in general. Then we want 3/4 cup of oat flour, okay? So I made this myself. I have a high-powered blender. All I did was take regular rolled oats, put them in a blender until they turned into powder. Now, if you don't have a high-powered blender, I don't know how it works. If you have a regular blender, you're welcome to try, but you just want it to be really fine. If you can't make it at home, you can buy it in the store. Any place that sells Bob Red's Mill products will probably have oat flour, okay? So 3/4 cup nutritional yeast, 3/4 cup of oat flour, and now we want 1/4 cup of tapioca flour. So this is going to be like the starchy part of the sauce that's going to make it really bind together. So tapioca flour, again, this is Bob's Red Mill. If you don't have this in your house, now you go buy it and you buy the nutritional yeast and the oat flour. Now you'll have all these ingredients to make it all the time whenever you want. All right, so the next ingredient that we want is 1 tablespoon of paprika, and you're just gonna put all of the ingredients in a large mixing bowl, okay? So 1 tablespoon paprika, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, you probably already have that at home, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of powdered mustard. So again, we just want all of that in one large mixing bowl. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take a whisk and you're just gonna whisk it all together until it's really well mixed, okay? You want all the colors to be even because you want all the flavors of those ingredients to be even as well, okay? So right now I'm holding this up in the air so you can see it. When you do it, you wanna put it down on the counter and really put some arm muscle into it, okay? So I already have some of the cheese mix already mixed together here, okay? So now we're actually going to make the cheese sauce. So once you have this, you can just store it and keep it, or you can use it, okay? So that recipe I gave you, that's gonna give you quite a bunch of servings, so you'll have some to store in the cupboard. So now if we actually wanna make the cheesy sauce to put on pasta or on top of a baked potato or make nachos or use it as dip for sweet potato fries, etc. The possibilities are endless. This is how you do that, okay? So I have 2/3 cup of the mix that we just made, and in this sauce pot right here, I have 2 cups of almond milk. So I'm gonna take you right here, and we are going to make the cheese sauce together here. So I have 2 cups of almond milk here, and what I'm going to do is pour the mix in there, and then I'm gonna put this on high, and I'm just gonna take a whisk I'm just blending it together. And it's going to take a little bit to heat up to high. So once it is on high, you're just going to be cautious to keep whisking it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Once it starts to bubble and boil, you're just going to turn it off and remove it from the heat, and then it's done. It's that easy. So we're just going to wait a little bit there. And I'm going to pop up to you right here. These are flowers from the show. Two other gentlemen from the Columbia, South Carolina Zoo were also on the show, and they talked about all of these beautiful flowers and plants that are alive and thriving right now in this time of year, even though it's hotter than it's supposed to be or should be in Columbia, South Carolina right now, which is the case in so many places. So yeah, right now this cheese sauce is coming up to a boil, and as soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to remove it from the heat. And then I have some pasta that my husband made last night right next to me, and then I'm just going to toss the pasta in that, and that's it. It's really easy. But I've kind of overdosed on the cheese sauce, having practiced it for the show, and then having eaten it yesterday on the show, and now making it for you again as well. So I'm starting to see a little bit of boil coming right there. So I'm just gonna keep whisking it a little bit. Make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. And then as soon as it comes to a boil, it is done. So another thing I've done with this cheese sauce, actually my favorite way that I've eaten it so far, was I made spirally pasta. You can make fun of me for this, that I don't know. It's like the fusilli, I think it's called. And I put a whole lot of the cheese sauce on that type of pasta. And then I added butter beans, and I added corn and chopped tomatoes. We have cherry tomatoes that our compost is growing. We didn't actually plant starts for tomatoes or seeds, but our compost just started growing them. So we have so many cherry tomatoes. So I put all of that with pasta and the cheese sauce, and it was awesome. I should also mention there's no dairy in this cheese sauce at all, and it's completely vegan. It's gluten-free as well, and it's incredibly low fat. So a lot of cheese sauces, it's starting to get hot, so I'm gonna keep whisking here so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Make sure you do that. A lot of plant-based cheese sauces use a lot of nuts and cashews in order to give it a cheesy flavor. And again, there's a lot of really beneficial nutritional properties to nuts. But for weight loss especially, and a few other ailments that I won't get into now, it's really important that we make it a low-fat diet, right? So some of the healthiest populations in the world eat a very low-fat diet. Severe heart disease has been reversed with a very low-fat diet. So it's really important that we keep that as low as possible. So one problem that some plant-based eaters have is they eat copious amounts of avocados and olives and nuts and seeds, and that can really hinder their progress. All right, you can see it's starting to boil. Oh, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It's starting to boil, and I'm going to remove it from the heat because it's starting to boil. Let me see if I can get you a shot there. The steam is really in the way. Can you see that there? This is really challenging. Okay, so there's the cheese sauce. So I'm gonna put you right here. Thanks for bearing with my technology. And I'm gonna take this off so you can see it. I'm just gonna keep stirring it until you get it to a thick consistency that you want. Started to boil, and I'll show you with a spoon what it looks like. You can see cheese sauce. Now I think that this actually needs to stay on the heat for just maybe a minute longer to really thicken up, right? It has that tapioca starch, which is really gonna make it thick. So I turned the stovetop off so there's no longer extra heat. Awesome. There's our cheese sauce. This thickens really easily. So even though it looks a little loose right now, it thickens very, very fast. So don't be fooled. There we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a bunch of pasta right to this pot right here and then toss it, and I'll show you the final product. So here I have 100% whole grain angel hair pasta. And if you wanted brown rice pasta, that's totally fine too. That's not a problem. And then I'm gonna toss it. I really like it cheesy. And again, like you can have as much of this as you want. Whenever I help clients, people, anyone, when we're eating, working to lose weight or improve health, there's never portion restriction. There's no calorie counting. You eat as much as you want because this food is much lower in calorie density, higher in nutrient density, and keeps you full, which when you're full, you stop eating. And if you stop eating, you stop consuming calories, okay? So that's how we don't push the plate away. Yeah. Now, if I were gonna have this as a meal versus just showing you how to make the sauce, I would definitely add a bunch of veggies to this. But it's awesome. There you have it. Plant-based cheesy mac and cheese. It's awesome. All right, now I'd love to hear from you. Please answer this question. Are you going to try this plant-based easy powdered sauce? If so, what would you eat it with? Answer in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please like it. Please share it with someone you think it could benefit. All right, that's it. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, please become my friend. I always like to talk to people. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. All right, love and leafy greens. Get educated, get support, and take control. Yes, you can get the healthy body you deserve.